Libra, welcome to your bonus in-depth reading that is yours and theirs. I hope you're well. I hope you're fabulous. Like always with yours and theirs, take what resonates, leave what does not, and reverse those energies as you see fit. More so with readings like yours and theirs, as energy exchange and interchange can be real, rapid, and fluid. Having said that, your person that I see on this board today, might include the energies of a significant other, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, lover, ex of 5 years ago. I never know until the cards are on the table, right? But I'd also ask you to include or make space for those other elements in life, such as work, family, spiritual stuff. Like I said, I'm just as like to see it. But default as it resonates. All right, let's get cracking. Show me Libra and their person, please. Show me Libra. Oh, okay. Like always, we're going to start with your side of the board, but as I say in the intro, reverse energies as you see fit. Show me Libra. Oh my, Tower. Oh, the Lovers. Oh my, Seven of Pentacles. What's even going on right now? Wow. Yeah, okay. Page of Pentacles. Knight of Cups. Queen of Cups. Yay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right. There's so much activity. Page of Swords. Temperance. Oh, the Hierophant. Wow. Overview of the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Time has passed for you, my friend. As to how, in what regard, in what respect, I will clarify. But time has passed for you on your timeline. And immediately you're jumping me into, well, that's mind-blowing. The Tower, the Lover, Seven of Pentacles. Something here kind of blew the lid off your pot a little bit. Time has passed. So there is a situation that represents the yesteryears. You fast forward a little bit and it catches up to you. So there's something here quite powerfully caught up to you. It looks like just all of a sudden, one day, one fine day. Well, might have been a slightly shocking today. I mean, like very recent. But nonetheless, it was some kind of day. It was some kind of moment. Tower of the Lovers, Seven of Pentacles. You thought that strong connection didn't mean nothing. Come to find out that wasn't true. It meant something. Indeed, it meant something. We can reflect on that now. Seven of Pentacles. No pressure. But yeah, the Tower is doing away with false assumptions. The Lovers, Seven of Pentacles. Thought it was a stagnant nothing. That didn't have any impact on you, or come to find out it's just not true. It's just not true. It had an impact, all right. It might have been disjointed, perhaps not very consistent. Perhaps it was stretched out over time, but it still had meaning. Page of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, the Queen of Cups. I can't, that is so odd, because that's so much information. There's so much information, like I said, it kind of blew the lid off your pot. But what's coming from them is a Page of Pentacles. He was just... That's wild. It was done in a very small but realistic way. So it wasn't a lot, but it was something. But it meant so much to you. It was so revealing. Specifically, it was revealing. So yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot. It was very tidy. It's very small. It was straightforward. It's to the point. It had meaning. It had rigidity. There was a time and place where that Page of Pentacles was put forward, and it conveyed something that was realistic in nature. It wasn't over the top, not at all. In fact, that was a very modest delivery. It was a very modest delivery. It's like, here's this. And it seemed to have given you so much to work with, like a lot. Knight of Cups, Queen of Cups, all they're showing me is that they have a very soft heart. They're kind of a big feeler, and they're okay with it. They're comfortable with it. Queen of Cups with the Knight of Cups, this is someone who's very comfortable with their own process. This is someone who loves you from the heart. They mean it. That's all they know, is that they mean it. Their heart still points to you in a very soft way. in a loving way, in a meaningful way. That's it. So I don't know what that page was, but it gave you a lot to work with, a lot of material to work with there. All right. Page of Swords, Temperance, the Hierophant, what you two share. How small that is. Look how small that is. It made the difference. It made a world of difference. Opening up into a beautiful space of healing and spiritual regard towards each other. Okay. It's beautiful, actually. What happens after that, I don't know. It might be too soon to tell. But because this all looks like very recent influence. Just one day, as even today, for all I know. So I don't know. It doesn't look like it just, I see that time caught up to you. So that tells me anywhere between October to now. But yeah, very recent. But the exchange here is gorgeous. It really is. And it's so small. It started out such a small way. I give the pages a lot of shit because we often give them way too much to carry and they can't handle it. Whatever this is was just right, just so. Okay? So in this context, the pages still somehow were appropriately applied. But Temperance, the Hierophant, it was small, but that's just what we needed. Whatever that was just what was needed for the situation. Beautiful healing there. Spiritual implications too. Okay. Okay, what's up? Let's see that Wheel of Fortune. Oh my goodness, what is going on? Let's see that Wheel of Fortune, please. Death. Seven of Cups. The Wheel of Fortune. Twice. The feelings here have changed. You both, actually. It's not the ending, it's transformation. Feelings between you both about each other, for yourselves, transformed a lot over time, but it's just catching up with us now. Yeah, heavily marked here with Scorpio season, like I said. But yeah, transformation around feelings. It took time, though. It took time. So there's a reason why you probably had the impression that that lover's connection didn't mean shit to you, possibly to them from your point of view. Like they didn't care about it. There was no regard. They hate me, or they hate this connection, or I hate it. You know, it's hard to tell because there's two Wheel of Fortunes here, so it crosses both your timelines is important. Seven of Cups with the death there, with the the way I say things sometimes. I just do this a long time, so I tend to be casual with my language. But yeah, with the death there's been a lot of transformation and feeling, but it happened over a period of time on both your timelines. You're catching up to it, so are they, or they have been. Feelings aren't what they used to be. They're different. Particularly the expression of them, how we perceive them, is different. Okay? That tells me up into prior to this moment, you believe this connection was crap. Okay? Or that it was nothing, or had no real implication. Or perhaps you thought they felt badly of you or disliked you or something like this. Okay, let's get in there. That's a lot. That's a lot of territory to cover. This really is a yours theirs, isn't it? It's showing up appropriately as both your timelines at just the right time. Yep, there you are. Underline the deck, Donna. Yes. Oh, do you both have Libra in your chart? Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense then. That makes sense then, doesn't it? I strongly suspect this was in motion or cooking specifically since October, which would be, or put us in your timeline, and is kind of revealing itself in its full weight here in Scorpio season. Yeah, I mean, timelines can be very interesting in tarot. That's one of the benefits to in-depths, is that you can see them a little more clearly as opposed to the check-in. But yeah, very specific there. May not apply, but it was heading in this direction, it seems, since your season. But I also strongly suspect you both have Libra in your chart in a very prominent way. Okay? All right. Okay, the Tower. Let's do this. Let's do that Tower, please. Eight of Swords, Three of Pentacles. Page, there it is. There's the page. There's the page. There it is. How the hell did they deliver that to you? How did you see that? How did you find... How do you know? I can't... It's hard for me to imagine, but it's also probable. It's absolutely because it shows up in reality. So, and I know sometimes the simplest things, the simplest gestures, the simplest lines of communication that are real in nature can make all the difference. I know that. It's just your insight is huge compared to where you were coming from. At Three of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, Page of Pentacles, you saying I never understood their point of view. Oh, were we friendships or what? What kind of fucking thing were we? You never understood. Like, you never understood their point of view, not completely, not fully. And particularly about your two's connection. Was it friendship? Was it lovers? Was it somewhere in between? How did they ultimately feel about it? You're saying, in many ways, you never really understood, or you didn't fully know. Okay, there was a lot here of material that wasn't discussed or openly discussed between you two about the definition here, because that can always cause a conflict. You bet your ass it can. Are we friendship? Are we more than friendship? Are we somewhere in between? What's going on? So until that Page of Pentacles dropped, we never really fully understood Eight of Swords, their point of view about the connection. And perhaps to some extent you didn't fully understand your own point of view either. Okay? Because that tower can work both ways. You know. This is how maybe I falsely labeled it or perceived it, and I assumed their point of view as well, because when things aren't clearly defined, we have to start filling in the blanks, right? I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, I'm just saying that's what happens, that's human nature. In our effort to understand where we don't have understanding, we start filling in the script. That doesn't mean we're right, but it helps us build some sort of workable legend around the subject to make it more manageable, you know. The Lovers. The Five of Pentacles, the Five, you're angry, the Sun, you're very angry. I called it. I called it. You really thought they were angry, or that they hated you, or that they hated the connection. And for a while there, you probably thought you hated them too. Because there's that feeling of happiness here, the Sun. But there seems to be constant discord. Reality proved, it seems, a major issue here. Reality seemed to be the biggest issue. How to build into this. Right? Because we want to acknowledge, you and I, that we're more than friends. But it seemed to be such a limited role on both sides, and there was constant tension around it. So very strong feeling. A sense of joy, so you both tried to reach for it, and constantly arguing about how to build into it. For some reason, reality proved to be a constant stumbling block. You could have sworn they hated you. They're angry with you forever and always, indefinitely. And perhaps you even thought you swore you'd be angry with them forever and always and indefinitely. It always remained this sort of confusing friends, more than friends type situation. But then why did it feel so damn strong? And then why did it feel so darn good? The Sun. Despite the conflict, but goodness me, that the 3D proved to be the biggest stumbling block. I don't know why, perhaps you'll show me. Lack of consistency here, building in, giving it more quality, time, energy, effort, attention, resources, whatever this thing it needed to thrive, we didn't do. Couldn't give it, weren't allowed to give it, or that feeling we couldn't, but again, that's already after the fact. You're already showing me all this stuff you've already thought about and how you found it very confusing. But the thing is, whatever assumptions we had, However it is we had to fill in that dialogue in order to make sense of it, you don't have to do that anymore. Because you were delivered a truth where you thought it ended up one way. Turns out, not at all. Okay. And I have to insist it was recent. I have to, I'm sorry. This is not something you learned 6 months ago. It doesn't look like that at all. See that Seven of Pentacles, please? Temperance. There's that, oh my God, wow. So much good healing for you now. Now the real healing can begin. No more trying to plug things up as leaks spring up. Those painful moments where it's like, oh, that connection, why am I thinking that right now? That stupid ass strong connection, no it's not. We were barely friends. We don't have to do that anymore. Okay? The defensiveness, the anger, the frustration in our heart and in our mind and in our spirit here specifically for not knowing how they really saw it, felt it, or perceived it, or you to some extent for those same reasons. You both experienced it in a kind of confusing way. A strong way, but in a confusing way. And I have no doubt they did their portion already of building into that dialogue, which over time didn't satisfy them. Okay? They had a transformation of feeling just as you are right now. How precious is this? Oh, look at that. Temperance is here twice. Oh, look at that. Oh, gosh, by Sagittarius season. You're going to unpack or have unpacked so much material. It's going to feel so much better. I promise. Seven of Pentacles. Okay. All right. A lot of reflection there. And we can do this safely on the path without too much disruption, so that's good. But yeah, really soothing that Tower, the Hermit. You find this so soothing, so healing. The big guns of healing and tarot right here, Temperance and the Hermit. Okay? Taking over that tower of shock and surprise. This is what it really meant to them. And I can kind of see now what this really meant to me. It's your own perspective, it's your own point of view. But now you have more of theirs to work with. I'm not necessarily calling this closure. I'll take a look at their Page of Pentacles. I don't know that it was deliberate closure. I'm trying to give you closure. Closure is never what people think it is. I read comments. I read one this morning. Yeah, I got closure. It's very sarcastic. Because it's never what people think it is. You know? That people tend to idealize closure in their head, just like a romantic story. It never plays out the way people think it does. And that's why I always insist. You don't need it. You have as much closure as you allow yourself to have. You give it to yourself and you have to work hard for it. But no, you don't need closure from anybody. You know? Because even if you get it, there's a good chance you'll reject it. Well, they didn't mean it, or they were insincere, or they said it sarcastically. You know? So again, even when you get it, a lot of people aren't satisfied with it because it's not reflecting on the outside what's in their head. So I don't know that they necessarily were handing you closure. But the effect is such is that it's given you a lot to work with in terms of healing. And that tower and that whole foobar that was the connection. And it feels like it was inevitable, a connection that was meant to be, but also kind of fucked simultaneously. You know what I mean? There's a lot of chaos around that 3D and it was stretched out over time. So it was a slow chaos. But now you know. It looks like for the Libra I'm looking at, you can put this idea of tension and anger and frustration to bed. You will have, it seems, the full effect of it soon, honey. We enter Sag season soon. You have so much to reflect on in a way that's peaceful, calm, and not disruptive, but above all, soothing. And you get to figure out for yourself at last, okay, what this meant to you, because now you know what they felt. Clearly, now you know what they felt, what they were thinking, how they experienced it. And now you get to figure it out for yourself, and that's beautiful. I love that. You get to disentangle something that seemed like it was knotted, it seemed forever and ever and ever. Now you get to disentangle it for yourself now. Because now you know what they felt. Now you know what they actually thought. And that gives you peace. So again, it's not like it's intended closure, I don't think. If I see an apology attached to them, then, then maybe that was the case. But look at that delivery, it's so wild. There it is again, Temperance. Some of you have some very interesting Sag in your chart. Hierophant right there. It means a lot to you. It meant a lot to you. I'm happy for you. I am. And I know it seemed weird, but guys, imagine continuing to pack this same confusion into your life indefinitely. So I don't know what they did, but I'm glad that you received it. Even if it blew the lid off your pot a little bit. It was a good thing. Ultimately, all towers are to our benefit. It's just some come in as critically difficult, hard. And others are just like, what? What? So I'm very curious to see this person's Page of Pentacles. I got to see this now. But I'm happy for you, though. Again, taking them aside, you know how they feel now. You know what they think. That seems to be undisputed. You get to figure out what this meant to you now, on your terms. You got the peace to do it. You have the temperance to do it. You've got direct source material, it seems. So, I wish you well on that journey. Goodness me. You look so calm. The Fool, Queen of Pentacles. The Knights of Cups. Gosh, this person has a very sincere way of speaking, don't they? At least their spirit, it came from a very grounded place. So that tells me they're attached to their worth, whatever it is that they delivered to you. It was from a sense of worth. I'm taking a risk, but I feel good about it. I'm just going to share this in the spirit of sharing and opening up. Knight of Cups, something from the heart. It looks like they were shooting from the hip, maybe, but also no. At the same time it was planned. It seems the Queen of Pentacles is there. So this is someone who was very comfortable in their spirit when they delivered their message. That's all I can tell you, but that's hugely reassuring to me. That's hugely reassuring. Because they know themselves well. They're familiar with their own material. The Fool, I'm going to open up about this. Knight of Cups, it comes from a good place. That's all they showed me. Okay? They did what they felt was right and within their wheelhouse of skills, experience, or responsibilities here at the Queen of Pentacles. That's beautiful. Knight of Cups. It seemed to dispel a lot of myths about this connection and what it meant. And now, like I said, huge emphasis here. You get to figure out what it means to you. Use your own dialogue now. Okay? You got the tools for the job. I love it. Eight of Pentacles, Six of Cups, King of Wands. They want nothing more than to get along with you. They hold you in that respective soul bond. Oh yeah, that person's part of my history. Eight of Pentacles, King of Wands. They're showing me a willingness to work with you. Okay, they think very well of you. They think highly of you. It's part of their history that's precious and unique. Okay? They see you that way. So take the friendship aside. Take the lover's connection aside. They concluded, oh, there's soul bond. One that made unique impressions on them. In fact, they largely associate you with work and a sense of motivation around work. King of Wands, Ace of Pentacles. So in many ways, they said, from my connection to you, I gained a lot to work with. I had never been so inspired. I had never been so tuned in because of my connection to you. They attribute a great deal of positive energy towards you in terms of inspiration, creativity, and kind of finding their way. So that Knight of Cups, that's in that softness. They sincerely mean it. They give you a ton of kudos. They give you a ton of credit. They really do. That being connected to that Libra pulled me in this direction, inspired me in this direction, was part of this connection and helped me move over here in this way. They honestly, heartfelt, in a very heartfelt way, give you a lot of credit for whatever it is they do now. But yeah, it's like they had never felt so alive when they were near you or around you or influenced by you. So again, where does all this goodness come from, guys? Most people are used to seeing someone who's still holding a grudge or hates them or whatever. At least that's the perception. This is someone who's done the work over time. over time. When somebody does the work, I give them credit. That's why I'm emphasizing to you. Look at all that. You've got so much good stuff headed towards you and you don't even know it yet. In terms of soothing and healing and coming to your own conclusions. You're going to... You got the tools for the job, it seems, to do the work. And I want you to. This person, they have nothing but glowing reports to you. They think highly of you. They really do. All right. Queen of Cups. And they love you. Yes, they do. Very much. It's interesting. They have a kind of feminine internal voice and a masculine external voice. So that's interesting. When they're at home, they're quite comfortable in who they are. They felt free to express themselves. And externally, that's where their masculine kicks in and work kind of takes over. But that sense of fiery creativity, passion, foot forward. But they associate that with you. Okay? Being connected to you in some way gave them direction. And because I'm seeing the Eight of Pentacles there, it might be that still stands as a possible theory for your two's connection. All right. Queen of Cups. Okay. King of Cups is in reverse. The Hanged Man. The Page of Swords. They only have one outstanding thing, and that's internal. That means you don't know. They never understood how you felt. They know how they feel about you. They always have. They have one thing inside them. It's quiet, and it barely talks. It's almost shy. Page of Swords, the Hanged Man, King of Cups. And they said, to this day, I feel the world for you. I do. I love you softly, sweetly, sincerely. For that of the past, which I heavily give you a gold star review. My life is better for having met you. This is their conclusion. That's theirs. I had nothing to do with it. This is their conclusion over time. The same amount of time you've had is the same time that they've had. This is what they worked through for themselves. Okay? They give you huge credit for where their life met for having connected you. I see that. It's literally at the juncture of their reading. The Queen of Cups in their heart space, which is gorgeous. King of Cups is in reverse. The Hanged Man, Page of Swords. It's almost like the shyest of admissions. I never understood how they felt. And that's hard to look at because the King, Queen of Cups, naturally they're meant to harmonize with each other. So that's a huge admission for this person that while I loved them, I don't know that it was ever returned. But it's also kind of like being mature about it and saying that's just the price you pay. You know what? I never understood how you, Libra, felt about me. I don't know. I'll never know. That's from their point of view. They admit they may never know. But you know what? I know what my feelings are. And that's good enough for me. And that's hard. Like I said, that's a hard admission. To love somebody. And not ever really know where you stand. Or how someone else feels about you. So you were confused at many points over that connection, so were they. But theirs was emotional confusion. It's interesting, you said you never really understood how they felt or perceived your two's connection. They're like, same, just from their point of view. They're like, I can love you regardless. You don't need to love me back. I'm secure with my feeling. That's the whole thing with the King, Queen of Cups. They're secure enough in their feeling to understand, I love you, and I know you don't feel the same. I'll always hold our connection in high regard. And they do. But yeah, it's something that they barely... It's a whisper in them. I never understood how they felt about me. I don't know if they loved me with whole heart. And that's something that they still think about, but they try not to go too deep with it. It's more like accepting their side of the feelings, and that's all anybody can do. You accept your side of your feelings. They should not be conditional on how someone else feels. It's just the way it is. If you love somebody and you know it, and you know they don't love you back, or in this person, they said they never actually understood how you felt, which is the same as kind of concluding maybe they didn't. Right? Because if you knew, you'd know. It's like, you know what, it doesn't matter. I'm secure enough with myself to understand how I felt. That's all. That's a very emotionally mature person. All right. I don't see them expecting anything from you. I'm not saying that they expect to work with you again. I'm not saying that they expect that you come back around. They're just saying, I never really knew how they feel. And that's something that they had to come to terms with or be at peace with. Maybe you had a ton of feeling for them. The point is that they don't know. So the things that you didn't know, very fair, the both of you, actually. There's so much about this connection you didn't know. Them too. And that's a big one. That's a big point to concede on. To be mature about and to kind of make yourself get over it. Page of Swords, Temperance, and the Hierophant. So, I don't know if get over it, that's too blunt of a term, but again, it takes, and that's one of the pros, and you might even say cons, of the King, Queen of Cups. The emotional acceptance is both a strength and a weakness. It hurts. But also, it's what a lot of people struggle with. These are my feelings. And this is theirs or not theirs. No? All right, let's see that Page of Swords, please. Anyway, it's quite beautiful. There's that Six of Cups. Yes, I see that they see you that way. Nine of Cups, Seven of Wands. They understand if there's emotional restrictions. I see them looking at you. They say that you two are bonded. From their point of view, you're bonded. Take the Three of Pentacles, mixed up perhaps with the Lovers. Maybe get the Six of Cups. From their point of view, deeply bonded. You're a person of importance in their life. Okay? Nine of Cups, Seven of Wands. It is kind of like saying I respect emotional boundaries here. You know, I look from time to time. I hope that you are well. Okay? That's it. That's all they're really telling me. And Temperance. And they wish you healing. They wish you well. But they also understand emotional boundaries and or restrictions. Keep their distance. Okay. Five of Wands. And there, back to you. Five of Wands. There's Temperance. Okay. Four of Cups and King of Cups. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. They said for you it's King of Cups in reverse, but it's very polite. I don't know that Libra ever had deep feelings for me. Okay. Because that could also be a negative feeling about them too. They honestly don't know. The absence of feeling, negative feeling. Okay. But it's like it's in that space that like they never knew if you two were the same. And Temperance, King of Cups, Four of Cups, Five of Wands. There's that Five of Wands. There's that tension, the anger, the frustration is coming down for you and soothing your heart, which is good. I'm glad to see that. I can see that you have been hurt and disappointed. They probably don't know that about you. I can see that you actually had a full heart for them. Again, they probably didn't know that about you. Like I said, there's things neither one of you fully understood about this. And we're both in the position here, it seems, of filling in the blanks, left to our own devices. I see they chose to focus on the connection, its positivity, what they learned from it, what they gained from it, and the love that they still kind of gently feel for you in a non-assuming way. It's just someone who has an open heart towards you. And for your part, I see the upset, soothing, coming down. The argument is leaving. The fight is leaving. That sense of hurt and disappointment is leaving. And King of Cups and Temperance. Again, this is an internal process. I'm not saying you have to do anything. I told you, you got quite a bit coming up for you in terms of things calming down, soothing, finding their place, feeling better. Okay? And the Hierophant, please. Okay, let's do that Hierophant. Goodness me, this feels like $1 million reading, and I'll tell you why. The stuff you're showing me, everybody wants to see. When they have major unresolved conflict over so much time with somebody that was deeply impressionable, problematic, and confusing. There's no pressure to perform here. There is none. There's no pressure for communication. I saw the theory of the working importance behind your two's connection, which means it could stand to reason it might still show up that way in future if there is one. But there's no pressure to perform. There's no pressure to speak. As far as I can tell, They gave you that Page of Pentacles voluntarily. I don't quite know how that happened, but they just said this is what I do. I can. And it feels good to me to do this. To put this out there. That's it. King of Pentacles over the Hierophant. Temperance again. Oh my gosh, Two of Pentacles. Oh my god, you look so much better. You look so much better. So much calmer. King of Pentacles, that Temperance is really coming in and kicking the confusion's ass. This is great. Here for, I mean, Sag season is going to be awesome for so many of you. That's wonderful. Oh my gosh, you guys, you know what that deep quality healing feels like? Where something here, just an old wound, it's old but it never fully healed. Well, it's going to start healing. Like I said, this is $1 million reading, but you know, the good work that they've already experienced, you're going to experience so much of it yourself, and I'm so happy for you. You feel so much better, so much reassured about who you are. You're showing me some sort of spiritual commitment to thyself and self-worth, and that it's meaningful to you specifically. It's meaningful to you to do these things, and I want you to, because it's right for you, because you understand it's right for you. Don't get me wrong, it's a choice. It is absolutely a choice. You don't have to accept any of this shit. You could have told that person to take their Page of Pentacles and fuck off with it. But no, in some way, it touched you deeply. Like I said, it blew the lid off your good pot. And that means new content was able to spill into that pot. Okay? You have so much more to work with now. Okay? That's much more fulfilling. And it seems emotionally and spiritually nutritious for you. That makes me happy, and I'm a big foodie, so I like things to be nutritious as well as tasty. And so now we can do away with the bad taste, and what felt like at the time, or back then, I should say back then, is non-nutritious actually is a feast of plenty. You're finding your worth in this, and you're committed to it. It feels good. You can see yourself clearly in the past now. Wonderful. It gives you a sense of current grounding. I gotta know though, will you two ever see each other again? I'm happy for that page. I have never seen so much strength, proper conveyance. Hang on a couple of pages. It's usually the other way around. Typically, when the pages are at the bottom of the pyramid, all the weight, as you can imagine, collapses it. This is the opposite effect. What started out is actually at the top. You know, it's small. It's making its way down the pyramid and changing the base. The foundation between your two's connection is changing. How you interpret it, perceive it, feel about it. Like I said, this is like the $1 million reading. So it's not exactly intended closure, but it gives you everything you need. Excuse the background noise, it's pickup day. But there's something here that I got in my brain. Will you two... All of my life, where have you been? I wonder if I'll ever see you again. And that's Lenny Kravitz. Okay. I don't know. But like I said, I'm not trying to put pressure where there isn't. Like I said, I saw that Eight of Pentacles there as a working construct. You two might have a lot in common in terms of work priorities, principles around that concept, and they heavily associate you with their particular sense of beginning, passion around work. But you were there apparently for the origin story of whatever it is that they're doing now. And they heavily associate with that. So again, I mean, like I said, it could be that that's the common connectivity, if there is. But again, no pressure. I'm not seeing any pressure to talk. I'm not seeing any pressure to do anything. But maybe one day. Who knows? The High Priestess, Nine of Wands. Yeah, no, I understand. Not yet. There's a feeling of not yet. Hold on. We're still healing here. We're still showing caution. Six of Wands. Triumph. Positivity. Queen of Swords. Gaining confidence. Gaining intellectual confidence and emotional confidence around this subject. Yeah, I see that. Okay. The Chariot. If there's a time to move forward, it will be when the time is right. when you can honestly say you've got a grip on the subject. Okay? You, Queen of Swords, Six of Wands, the Chariot. Right now your intuition's telling you, hold on, sit tight, now's not the time. I'm still working through some of this stuff, I'm still processing. And then you flip that very quickly in terms of ease of thinking. Queen of Swords, when my thinking is in order on this subject, Six of Wands, and I feel confident about it, I will move forward in a particular direction, the Chariot. Okay, well done. All right, I like that. Knight of Swords. Goodness me. Something's developing for you. It's a thought, it's a plan, it's an action. So the Knights of Swords, the only knights associated with, again, the conveyance of our thoughts, communication, as well as action. You're showing me kind of mental confidence in addressing this directly when you understand the time is right. Okay? Well, there's a lot to talk about. Because, again, you're showing me an intellectual approach, but one that you're glad to do. But you want to be ready for it if you choose to address it. I'm not saying you have to, but I have to admit I was very curious because there's just so much good stuff in here to work with just for the self. I'm not saying you two have to be lovers. I'm not saying you have to continue your Six of Cups journey. But what I am saying is, like, there's so much here for you to work with. I can't imagine you not having a response. Anyway. If it is, then it is. So shall it be. Okay, what is that? The Wishing Well, 41. The Wishing Well, 41, our deepest wish. 41. Wishing well, kiss and tell. 34, occupation. Your work. Wishing you well in your work. I know you're busy. You have a lot going on. I wish you well in that. I hope all is well. Hope all is well with you and work. Occupation. You know what they do is important to them. You saw it for yourself. You were there. You were witness to that. Gift. That I've never had that interpretation in my life. That polar bear hit real different. The gift. Okay, so we have a gift here. Okay. The strength there. The strength. Now, I can kind of see where that Page of Pentacles fits in that context. Perhaps it was an unexpected gift, something here that showed up in reality and was delivered in such a beautiful way. No pretense, no artifice. It was real and authentic. I see where the source is. I don't question it. Strength to take that reaction, to take that gift. It does take strength. But I have to say, my first impression when I saw these two fall out was a gift, like, I don't know how else to put it. It was rough. Imagine getting a gift from a polar bear. You don't expect that. I don't care how Coca-Cola advertises polar bears. The fact of the matter is they'll rip your fucking head off. Okay, they will. But there's something to hear about this gift that I just see thrust forward. Here. I don't quite know how to put that. But it's also delivered with strength. I mean, there's a lot of strength and conviction pushing that gift forward. I didn't see that for them. Theirs was so relaxed and done so in a very comfortable way. They spoke from the heart. There's a lot of strength pushing that gift out. Take that. Hope you like it. That's it. That's all I saw. 17, 15, 34, 41. So I don't quite know what that entails. But again, that Page of Pentacles, it could be anything. I just say that it shows up in a realistic way. It has rigidity. It has boundaries. It has solid information in it. Okay. All right. 17, 15. That was wild. It's like, oh, it's a gift from a polar bear. Oh, boy. No, but I'm actually seeing it as the strength to deliver that gift. So even though it looks quite small, it represents somebody's strength of will to put something forward. Okay? All right. A fair man. Dealings or relationship with the man with blonde, gray, or white hair. It's either you or them, the fair man. Okay? Emphasis there on the color of hair. Blonde, gray, or white. March. March. Past March, upcoming March. I don't. Pineapple reconciliation. Reconciliation in March for some of you. It was either the last time you talked to them was in March or upcoming March. Yeah. It's going to be one of those two, guys. The last time you spoke or acted towards each other might have been around March. What year? Don't know. Then upcoming March might be important. Okay? That's interesting. August. What about it? August moon? What about the August moon? If you can remember that, was there the moon phase around August that was important to you? Whose full moon? Whose full moon would that have been? Everything's in 6 months. So the full moon is 6 months, and then the new moon represents within house of that season. So whatever the August full moon would have been. So for example, we just had Taurus's full moon and Scorpio season, and so you track that back to August. Okay, so that would have been prior to them. It would have been Aries, and then before that, you see what I'm saying? It would have been Pisces. Okay, so around that time, maybe. And before that would have been Aquarian. So the Aquarian or Piscean, perhaps full moon. I'd have to look it up. I don't have it in front of me. So anyway, that might have been significant for some of you. Okay. And then the fair woman. She's a tiger. Oh, she's a tiger. Oh. She's a tiger. What? Tony Montana. Scarface. She's a tiger. Oh. Is she a tiger? Yeah. The fair woman. Dealings or relationship with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. But again, fair. The idea is fair. Fair hair, fair complexion, something like that. She's a tiger. Doing something risky, taking a chance. She's a tiger. Someone here is fierce. Fierce. I can see that. They can kind of take that work energy in a very fierce way, can't they? But a lot of it has to do with ambition, creativity, passion. And there's love. It is love. There was love. I know. I saw their love for you. They were very open about it. I don't see them longing. I don't see them pining. I'm not saying that they're waiting for you. I'm saying that that's the thing about the King and Queen of Cups. They can own their emotion with or without the connection being present. Okay? Some say that that's a blessing. Others would say that's a curse. This is someone who just knows their heart well. And therefore, I don't question it because they don't either. And that's the pro. Okay? But yeah, they love now. Their only admission is I don't know if they ever felt the same. Maybe you didn't either. That doesn't mean you didn't feel something. And that's something that you are still working through. Okay? All right. She's a tiger. It's in the eyes, Chico. I love that line. Well, who doesn't? Classic. I know, you were always confused. Confused about your thinking. Missing you, craving, desiring, confusion. So much confusion. How can I still desire you, think about you, crave you? You're not here, and our connection was confusing as shit. Yes, I understand, but yet it remained with us, didn't it? Yeah. That was you trying to work through it, honey. Intimacy. There's such a strong sense of bonding, sensuality, attraction there. But intimacy that wasn't just sexual, it felt personal, too. Right? It felt personal, too. It was so confused, though. We didn't know what to think. Okay. And that also means for some of you, if you didn't know what to think, you're an air sign, so this is not an insult. This is something you should understand. For air signs, if you don't know this, if you don't know this about your air quality, okay, or if you're a cross-watcher and you have no idea what the air process is like, if an air sign can't get their thoughts straight, guess what else is affected? Right? If you didn't know, if you didn't know what this connection meant to them, and to some extent you didn't know what to think of it either, why would your heart be any different? Okay. Okay. Anything else here, please? Done. All right. Oh, okay. One letter, just one. G. We have the medallions of Gemini, Virgo, and Capricorn. You might have these and Taurus. You might have these very strong placements in your chart. Could be connecting to other seasons. Might be important to you. Libra, honey. Goodness, I like yours. I'm this close to calling your reading the $1 million reading, because there's so much goodness in it on both sides, and after a long period of time for which you had no reason to expect it. There's no pressure to do anything. Anything that you did with this information, if you resonate, if this is you, what you do with all that delicious healing is entirely up to you. There is no pressure to communicate, talk, or take action. They already know. They're comfortable with their feeling, and they're comfortable in their own kind of quiet admission of what they don't know about you. They have to accept that. You have a lot of material to work with that you're catching up to. So while I saw, yes, the potential of communication, even if it's a little bit rough at first, there's a confidence around it because you're only showing me that if you're comfortable with it. Okay? But still, the takeaway here is how much you get to gain from this, learn from it. I don't know exactly what their Page of Pentacles was, exactly. I just know that you saw it in your process of digesting it. Okay? I like where it came from, is because they could and they wanted to. And you've got so much to do with it. You've got so much to do with all this information and this feeling and the stuff that was blocked or felt like it was cut off or you just couldn't figure it out. You can now. So it's like unintended closure. Let's put it that way. And if you want it to stay closed, that's fine. That makes sense too. But for some of you, I saw that there. It's in here somewhere. The Queen of Swords, Six of Wands, and then the Knights of Swords. A part of you, some of you just, you're going to react to it when you feel that you can or you think that you can. It's like I can't not respond. You know? But anyway, there's all that good stuff. Anyway, Libra, honey, I hope this helped you. This was a great read, I have to say. There was no pressure from this person to do or say anything. They told you because they wanted you to know, or that it was something that they felt they had to say or put forward in some way. Act of gesture, act of faith, but just an understanding that it was right for them. So again, there's no pressure to respond. If you don't want to, you won't. Anyway, that's enough of that. I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well.